Welcome to the Hobbynomicon. We're back. We're working on our monolith bearer. When I was sculpting this, I was thinking this was going to be like that, like wrought iron or like pig iron to some nasty metal. But now the vision I have in my head is a brass, like a golden color, almost like this wasn't a punishment. This is an honor, a decoration. So we're gonna paint it up. My goal here isn't to go like full grim dark, so I'm just coming in with brass, just base coating it. This is Vallejo copper. So my goal is to, like I said, not go grim dark, but I want it to be kind of nasty and scary looking. So now we're coming in with just Vallejo gold. But again, it doesn't really matter. These paints I have are all super old. I'm just trying to work my way through them before I replace them. So typical dry brushing, I got a big flat, very soft round brush. Get the excess off on the paper towel. You've seen it 100 times before. This is the oldest recipe in the book for brass. I actually hadn't done it in a while. And tonight we're just going to lay the foundations, and then tomorrow we're going to come back in after everything is like locked in place and dry and really kick it up a notch. So now Reikland Flesh Shade, Carlsberg Crimson, these are so old they could literally drive. They could go get their driver's license right now. They're pretty gummy, so I just put a lot out, and you can see like how thick these are. And I'm going to slap the camera stand around a little bit here, but just going in, I'm slobbing this on pretty thick because of how much paint we're still going to put on top of it. And I'm going to use a heat gun to heat it up, which actually causes a small patch of like exactly what we don't want. So I'm going to try how to fix that too. But again, I'm just very here. I'm dabbing off. I just put a little bit too much on. Got a little bit of beard hair in it, of course. So just you can see I'm applying this in a stippling motion because one, I don't want it to pool, and two, I don't want brush strokes. If you're using newer washes that haven't been sitting for over a decade, yours will probably flow a little bit better. But once I realized how thick and these are, like, to give you an idea, these are almost like blood for the blood god consistency coming off my brush. So just being very careful here not to pool and stippling it out. I want it in the shadows. I'm leaving a little bit off the top, but I am making sure I get some in that like little divot from the battle damage. There we go. Okay, so while that's drying, I've officially hit that age where it's time to start looking at historical gaming. So I thought about the LGS today. Met a couple of new guys who were talking to me about this. They seemed very cool, like very cool dudes. Very excited about it. I got the core rulebook, and I got 2 packs of miniatures. I love the art in this book too, by the way. Let me show you a better picture here. But it's all the one guy wrote this whole rulebook. He used all his own painted models and made all his own terrain for all the art on the inside of it, which I think is pretty cool. So all totaled, I think the rulebook is $40, and then each pack of these guys was like $30. So you're paying less than $1 a model. That's almost getting to the point. Like, I think if you count all the time and effort, it's cheaper to buy these than it was to 3D print them, which is pretty crazy. So I'm gonna get in touch with my Norman ancestry, and we're going Normans. So stay tuned for that. I've officially turned 36. Gotta start playing historicals. All right, so he's all dry now. Let's get back into him. Now I'm coming back in. This is just a dry brush with that gold first, and I'm just building the highlight back up. Again, this is not rocket science. I'm sure if you've ever seen any painting tutorial ever, you've seen it. But right here, because I used that heat gun and it all pushed it to this back corner and it pooled. So I got a bunch of water on my brush, wicked it off, and now I'm just kind of feathering that wash out around it. I didn't see it until I'd already started dry brushing, but very, very easy, very quick to fix. Just get your brush wet, feather it out, and now we're going to dry brush over it again. What I have now is a Vallejo Model Air Bright Brass. You can kind of see it on my wet palette. I went back in and did a dry brush of that again. And now, actually, this is Vallejo Steel. I'm going to hit all of the bolts, or the nails, I guess, bolting the mask in on the tops, being very careful here. And then I'm going to kind of sketch in where I want my highlights to be on the actual mask itself. Like, this isn't a dry brush. It's like, I'm think of it as like painting scratches in, and we're gonna do more to this tomorrow to get the silver tone out of it. But this is essentially like we're sketching in highlights. So think of this as like either scratches in the material that maybe scraped the patina that was forming off. It's just maybe where the light's hitting it. So I'm just kind of I'm going on vibes. There's definitely gonna be definitely gonna be brighter here where this area I'm working at now, just from the light hitting it. But down here, this is me essentially working in scratches. So we're gonna come back in over the top of this. It's a mixture of our base coat of copper and mixed in with that bright brass. And now I'm just kind of like glazing true metals. Cause kind of sucks because if you add too much water, it breaks the pigment up. So I'm just being very careful here and working over top of this. And we're gonna build up more layers of kind of this scratch effect tomorrow once I know everything's dry and locked in. I don't really want to rush it, and I'm kind of rushing it here. So you'll see there'll still be a little bit of the silver peeking through, but this is going to be like what kind of separates our true metals from the typical base coat dry brush wash and dry brush it again. This will add a lot more character and definition into it. And my goal with this whole model is not to just jump straight into grim dark. I want it to be like creepy and unsettling to look at, but I really want to try to avoid, like, I don't want to do an oil wash. I might still do an oil wash on the skin just because on skin it's so much easier, but I really want to kind of make it unsettling but not grim dark, if that makes sense. And that's going to be a challenge for me. So here we go. Here's where we at the end of the night. You can already see like there's a lot of values going on, and it's not just a boring mask. Like, is that blood that's settled in there? We don't know. Have a good night.